I have a question for all of you. When was the last time you were actually excited for a new Minecraft update? Okay, don't get me wrong, it's crazy that this game still gets free updates a decade and a half later, but whenever a new update comes around, my excitement level can be quite hit or miss. You can have updates like the Tricky Trials that add a fun new replayable structure you can play with friends. And then the update before that? This is so fun! As of recently, Mojang has been giving us game drops rather than big-scale updates. Some of them add features that are long overdue, and some others add stuff that I don't really care about. Overall, none of them have made me really that excited at all. But that was until... Picture this, you're 9 years old, playing Minecraft. You see a ghast for the first time, and you think to yourself, wow, I wish I could ride it and be best friends with it. Now you can! Now that we know how to get a Happy Ghast, here are the unique properties of it. First of all, 4 players at the same time can mount it. Second of all, you could stand on it like a platform. And lastly, it is the only mount in the game that can actually fly. So, with that all out of the way, how good is it? Well, let's just say it... What? That's not what the video's about! Okay, that's better. Before I start glazing the Happy Ghast, there's one thing that I have to mention first. It is so extremely slow. But don't take my word for it. Consider the following. Let's have a look at every single mount and their velocities. Pigs have a speed of 2.48 blocks per second. Using a carrot on a stick makes it increase up to 5.33 blocks per second. Camels have a speed of 3.89 blocks per second. Striders have a speed of 4.24 blocks per second. Using a fungus on a stick will increase this up to 9.11 blocks per second. And with horses, they can get a speed of 14.23 blocks per second, but it's depending on how good the stats are. So, now, the moment you're all waiting for, how fast is the Happy Ghast? It has a max speed of 3.61 blocks per second. That's like only the second worst that we've covered here. Although the Happy Ghast objectively kinda sucks, the use cases that it offers more than compensates for it. Firstly, let's talk about its application for building. When it comes to building in survival mode, one of the many struggles that you'll probably face is dealing with verticality. Imagine this, you want to build a repeating pattern along a wall that's really high up. Your first option is to use scaffolding. However, scaffolding has a limit, which can be pretty frustrating at times. The good thing about scaffolding though is that it's really easy to clean up. Your other option is to probably just use some junk blocks. However, this has the exact opposite issue of scaffolding. You don't have to worry about any limitations. However, the cleanup can be quite annoying. This is where the Happy Ghast comes in. As per the example that I just gave, you can just kind of fly across and place all the blocks you need for your repeating pattern. Overall, the Happy Ghast is kind of just a best of both worlds kind of situation here. Secondly, we have its application for mob transportation. Attaching a lead onto a mob and then attaching it to the Happy Ghast will allow you to pretty much airlift any mob anywhere. But what about mobs that you can't attach a lead to? You can bypass that by simply attaching a boat onto the Happy Ghast and have the mob travel in the boat. It's going to make moving mobs like villagers very, very easy. And lastly, we have using the Happy Ghast as a platform. This is a more silly idea compared to the other two. However, I think its applications for parkour could be really, really fun. Putting the Happy Ghast in a minecart will essentially allow you to make a moving platform. Making multiple of them will allow you to make a very interesting parkour challenge. And with that, that's pretty much all the use cases that I can think of at the top of my head. However, because of its really interesting features, I'm sure there's a lot more interesting ideas out there on the internet.